Good
That's
evening,
so funny.
and welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Region's Session 2, Advanced, Want to Improve Your Zoom.
Oh, good.
Tonight, we will explore the world of hosting.
Okay.
We have ladies joining us from all over the country, including 5 states and Winnipeg, Canada. On our last session, Beginner Zoom, we worked on how to get comfortable with Zoom basics. It's now available on video on the website and was sent to all of you. It's in the members only section of the WLCJ site under Zoom training. I'm delighted again to welcome our 2 instructors. We have one so far, Sheila Kaufman. You can introduce Corinne when she comes. They are the WLCJ Communications Zoom chairs. We also have Seal Cable, Mid-Atlantic Region Parliamentarian, keeping an eye on the Zoom chat. Thank you. Our goal is to give you the edge you need to enjoy and participate in Zoom anytime, anywhere. Sheila, the screen is yours.
Okay, my phone was ringing and I muted so you wouldn't hear it. So I'm gonna mute everybody.
You want me to?
I think I got it. All right, see here the phone again. I'm not near the phone. Lori, can you resend the link to Corinne? Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen.
Should we be taking notes, or won't that be necessary?
If you want, you can. The video won't be ready for a while, for a few days, and I can have whatever I'm showing and paper available probably tomorrow. So, but if you want to take notes, that's fine. So, okay, do you see what's up here?
Not yet. It's a shared screen, but we don't see anything yet.
How do you share a screen?
I hope we learn.
Okay, can you see this?
No, nothing yet.
Okay, yeah, it's still circling on my computer. All right. I think what happened, I may be knocked off. Frustration on my part.
I'm not sure I can send anything to Corinne. Remember my emails to her weren't going through?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
I'll talk about screen sharing while you send Corinne the link.
Okay. All right.
Ladies, look at the bottom of your screen. There's a little green button on my screen in the center, and it says share screen. But the trick is you have to have what you want up on your screen already, so that when you hit share screen, it's there and you can have it up. I can.
Okay. You know what, Beth, you have Corinne's email address. Can you forward that to her?
The link?
Yeah.
Thank you,
it's going to take too long for me to find it on my phone. I'm sorry, everyone.
I see something on the share.
Okay, do you see the this blue screen with the Zoom training advanced on it?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. Okay, so this is our presentation, and insert my email address and Corinne's email address, and it'll be at the end as well. and we'll post it in the chat in a little bit.
Sheila, I do not have Corinne on my sheet.
Okay, you
I'll
see
try,
her
I'll
email
try
address?
again.
Here's her email
Her
address.
address is right there on the
Yeah.
on the
I'm
on
here, I
the
promise.
PowerPoint. Okay.
I'm sorry to be late. We had this storm come through and I had a big branch over my son's yard, so I helped him move it. But I'm here now.
Okay.
Welcome, Corinne.
All right,
Thank
great.
you for joining us.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about your look. How are you supposed to be when you're on a presentation? You're the host and you're going to schedule meetings, pin versus spotlighting, sharing screen, breakout rooms, and polling. So how do you look? I mean, we talked about this last time. You dress appropriately. If this is a women's league thing, wear your Tower Fund pin. Don't have anything distracting in your background. Your windows should be shaded. You don't want to have the light coming through, so you're a silhouette. And check your background. Do a virtual test so you can see what you look like. And make sure all your distractions are off in the background, your TV, your radio, your kids, your grandkids, your dogs. I just fed my dog right before we got on, so she should be good for a little while.
And I have to say, with dress appropriately, I know a lot of people say from the waist up, but I've had a lot of experiences working with some of the students at my school that the dad may not know that you're on with them, or some emergency comes up and you get up and boy, you're embarrassed. So, and also I think when you're getting dressed like to go to a regular meeting, it kind of gets you in that mode. So I tend to like to dress completely, maybe not shoes the same I would wear, but I think it just sets a tone for me.
Yeah, and so inform your family that you're on the Zoom call so they don't bother you. All right, so you logged on, hopefully not necessarily through the URL, but you're logging on through the Zoom app. And the upper right-hand corner that looks like a flower is your setting button. So you want to make sure you're at the most up-to-date version on Zoom. And you can find that at the bottom under the statistics. And if not, you go on to Zoom and you can, sometimes Zoom will automatically upgrade, but the last couple ones like this version 5.3.1 was a manual upgrade. And so you'll check on zoom.us and keep that handy, because if we're not available, you want to use them to answer your quick questions, especially at 4 in the morning, we don't want to be bothered. So when you schedule a meeting on that same page, you're going to go into schedule. And this is if you're a host. Okay, so you want to create that meeting. So you go into schedule, and whether you have a free Zoom meeting, a free app, or you're paying for it, you have these options. So as you know, it's a free app. You have only 40 minutes to schedule a meeting, and it'll tell you if you select in the duration 1 hour, they're saying no, you don't have 1 hour, you have 40 minutes. So you'll be aware of that. So you have your personal meeting ID. When you make a meeting, you can change. You have the option to generate a different meeting ID number. And that is also good to help you to keep people from coming in for security reasons. And you'll automatically get a passcode. There's waiting room. So here's the other. If you generate automatically, you get a passcode here. So you have your two options. You also have a waiting room. Do you want to have people come in a waiting room, wait for you to come in and you let them in? You check that off.
And we talked last time about having a second person there so one person can watch the waiting room if somebody else is running the meeting. So you're not having to do both things. It's just too much to do for one person.
Right. But this is security, added security. So you don't have Zoom bombers, or you don't want to serve any people that you don't want to come in.
I just want to mention, if you're using a Women's League Zoom line, they are set up without a waiting room. So you don't have to worry about having someone to watch that particular function for you.
And then the other option, you can shut it off too. So but it is automatically on. So then once you get into your meeting, this is the dialog box that you get. And I should have done it differently, but you would actually add your guests first rather than be on the top. So you add your email addresses of the people that you want to invite. And then once you're in there finished, then you can hit save and it sends the invite for you. And so going back to your main window, you have meetings, and the meetings will tell you what you have, what's coming up on your calendar. So I have my book review, I have membership appreciation, I have Zoom meeting. So, and obviously you can send the invitation out, you can edit it, you can delete it from here, and you can start it.
Hey, Sheila, Eileen has a question about invitations.
Sure. I can't see you, but you want to unmute?
No, I just put a huge piece of candy in my mouth. Okay. When I have a problem sending an invitation. I mean, I have a problem with it, but I always have to like copy the invitation, and I don't usually have an option of who I'm sending it to. I have to send it through an email. But besides that, it used to be when I did a recurring meeting, it used to ask me for time and all kinds of things. And lately, when I'm doing a recurring meeting, it doesn't give me a specific time. It makes it like any time at all. And my friend said to me, well, you really trust us if we can use it at any time. So can you show an example of a recurring meeting? Or if it's not something you want to do, it's fine. You can tell me afterwards. But it's just so frustrating to me that I used to be able to say recurring meeting every Tuesday at 10 until, January 5th.
Right. And that's weird because it's in here. It should be like an Outlook.
I have a recurring meeting that I have. So go ahead and go on, and I'll pull it up, and then I'll share my screen and I'll show you what it looks like.
So yeah,
I know I want to know how you do it, because it doesn't give me that option. That's the problem.
Well, you're on this site. When you're scheduling a meeting, under the duration, you see recurring meeting.
Right. And I click that.
And well, actually,
you can't click it, right?
I can't click it right now.
Right. Okay.
But we can go into it in a minute. Let me get through.
Yeah, go ahead.
Scheduling. Finishing all this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you're also on your home screen. If the meeting is ready to go, like this is a meeting that starts at 8 o'clock and it's like 7:45, you can hit the start button and it'll start on, and you'll go right into your meeting.
So can I ask a question
about
scheduling? So the problem I have a lot of meetings coming up. I didn't know you could schedule them ahead of time.
Yeah.
I can never find them in my list of so many emails, and I'm always looking for, and I might be missing some. I don't know. So
yeah.
As soon as you get an invitation, what do? Click on the Zoom link?
Well, this is for the meetings that you have set up.
Oh, not for meetings.
Okay, not for the meetings that. What I would suggest doing is creating a folder in your email, saying Zoom meetings, and this way it's there, or making a note of when it is. I'm starting to get boggled up, and I'm ready to make that folder so I have Zoom meetings.
Okay, good idea. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the share right now. Actually, where am I? Controls. Stop share. All right, Corinne, do you want to go into doing that recurring meeting? Corinne, stay unmuted.
Yeah, sorry, I was. Yeah, no, I had to get back to that screen. Sorry. Yeah, I have a couple of different accounts. I'm glad somebody else did this meeting because I can get into my other one. So let me share screen and I can show you what I've set up here. Here we go. Way too many screens here. Here we go. Okay. So this is my Zoom account with you all see that okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So this is my my school one that I use, but this is a repeating meeting that I have set in here. So it comes up every. I had it set up so it went here. Let me go back to where is it? Where am I set up? I'm trying to see where I set it up. It just shows when it is each time. So this is how you can see when they are. But I'm trying to see where I'm setting it up. A new meeting. Oh, sorry, wrong way. So scheduling a meeting. So if I'm going to schedule a new meeting, which is what we're talking about, I'm going to call it my meeting with WLCJ. I'm going to call it. And I have a template that I've set up, but I'm going to just leave that for now. So let's say I wanted to do it as on pick any date. Let's see, I'm going to do it on Sunday. Okay, and then at 7 p.m. and I want it to be 2 hours, and you can do it in increments of 15 minutes. Now, if I want to recur the meeting, I'm going to hit this here, right under the time, and it'll ask me whether I want to do it daily. I can choose weekly, monthly, or I can just choose when I wanted to do it. So I have a weekly meeting I want to do. Right now, it's giving me this option. If I say weekly, it's going to give me 7 occurrences. You can change it down here, however many you want.
Excuse me, we have a question in the chat. What's the template?
Oh, it's a thing that I've used before. So like I have a rehearsal template that it explains like what the description is. It says the topic, so I don't have to type it in every time.
Yeah, we don't have that option on the PC.
Oh, well, I got lucky. I have a Mac, but if you have a Mac, you could do that. So if it's a regular meeting that you schedule with some regularity, you can have that in advance. But it doesn't sound like you don't have to do that. You can type in whatever you want. It's basically this information. It just populates it. But anyway, so I put in as a weekly meeting. So when I hit that I wanted to recur it, it will do every week on Sunday for 7 occurrences because I have it checked here. I can do by the date, end date, or here. And I can change this to a certain amount, whatever number I want. I can do 20 if I want to, and then that'll change it here. And then I can choose what to do here. With our college, we have to do a waiting room. I can take it off, but it comes back on just because we've had so many students come in and do things they're not supposed to. And then you can make all these options here. You can video, you can choose whether the host is on, whether the participants, it depends what you're setting up. Audio, I always select both because you have people who call in sometimes. And then these are your meeting options, which I don't know I don't remember on the Women's League one if they have all of those. I know we're going to talk about breakout rooms.
They have automatically record meeting.
So yeah, so we can have that on there.
What does video mean? What does video host and participant mean? What is it? What do you mean by that video? I keep on clicking the host and the participant. They both show video. I don't understand what that is.
So well, you can do that, and if you're a participant, you can choose whether or not your video is showing.
Right.
It's up to you. So I was doing a program where I didn't want everybody's video up there. They just needed to be focusing on me. So I had the last one I did was off. So it just went to that. Usually I do choose both of them.
Okay.
So it happened. I have it set to default to whatever I did last. So I didn't need all these little kids, signing all over and distracting each other basically. And then, so the authentication, I don't know, are we using that, Sheila?
No.
I'm sorry, yes, no?
No.
Okay. I don't like doing that. It's just too many steps. But the breakout room pre-assigning, if you choose that, then you can create, this is where we're going to go in a little bit. You can create whatever room you want and choose whoever is going to go in there. So this is where you would do that. We'll talk about it a little bit later. And depending on what kind of account you have, you can choose how many breakout rooms. So mine is a pretty substantial one. I would never have this many with what I do, but you can have 50 breakout rooms and you can assign however many participants. You can also import it. So,
Corinne, is authentication, is that a password?
so,
Or passcode? Is that
so,
what that is?
so that allows you, it tells you who can come in. So you see where I clicked it. So I'm only allowing people at my college to come in.
Oh,
So we don't really have to worry about it so much. If I'm working with the college, I worry about it because you have a lot of students doing all kinds of interesting things. So, but you can have, what I usually end up doing is I would put other users, which means anybody who's on a Zoom account come in. So I'm working with little kids right now, so I just have that one kid. Nobody's coming in.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Did that answer it okay?
Yeah. I was wondering about, sometimes they require a 6-digit code.
You know what? I haven't done that in a while. I'm not sure. I have to check and see, but it's usually you have to have some kind of a pre-authorization from whoever's running the meeting, and they would give that to you. I think it may be that code, but you'll give somebody that info. I'll check it and make sure.
But if it's your meeting ID and passcode, you've already got that's given out.
Right. So
that
should be it. It's like, so nobody else can just jump in.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have, like, you couldn't come into this meeting unless you had the information to come in. We're pretty much set up like that for Women's League. I haven't heard anybody's had a problem coming in that shouldn't have come in. Yeah, and then automatically record the meeting. It just comes up automatically. Great. Now I know what it means. So, but you can choose. I think it always does it in the cloud for women.
As far as Women's League meetings, they're
right
in the cloud.
Yeah, that's already set up. And yeah, so if you have like one of the international ones, they have different regions. We're really not worrying about it. It'll be set up that way. So when you get your invitation, it's a huge invitation. I don't know if y'all have really noticed how many things are there. You don't have to send that whole thing. You can just pick out the part, like for your local meeting, you can just choose that part that you want to have sent out. You don't have to choose all of the different numbers people can dial into. Once you copy the invitation, put it in an email and take out whatever you don't want in there, because it gets confusing looking at all this stuff. So did that answer everybody's questions about scheduling? Or
Corinne, could you go back to the recording? It says automatic recording. First of all, you have to let people know that they're being recorded.
Yes, you let them know at the beginning that it's going to be recorded.
And what's the difference between that and on a local computer?
You won't have a choice of the Women's League account. It'll go in the cloud. But like if I wanted to record one of the children I'm working with, I record on my computer sometimes if it's a short meeting, just because it's easy. I can go right into it. I don't have to wait for it to, kind of get processed. It takes a while to process. It takes a lot of space up, though. It takes up a lot of data space.
If you have a paid account, you get 1 gig of space. I'm not sure about the free account. And this is for the cloud, for the Zoom cloud. So one meeting, an hour and 15-minute meeting or presentation is like over 600 megs. So
very large file.
Yeah. So what I do is I will save to the cloud, let the cloud take over and do what it needs to do. And it'll tell you when it's finished that it's finished and ready to get. So I will take that and I'll save it onto my hard drive or, onto my computer somewhere. And then I'm ready to go. Then it clears. Then I'll delete what's on the cloud, and I'm ready for the next presentation. So, so I would just figure, but pay attention. So if you forget that you have something else on the cloud and you wind up doing another presentation, it'll shut off. So you'll lose that whole presentation. So before your meeting or presentation or whatever you're going to do, just make sure your cloud is available before you save to it.
It'll shut off if you run out of space, is what
Yeah.
it is.
How do you access that cloud? How you look for it, or
You will get an email
Oh.
from Zoom when they finish, when it's completed, after it's processed, of the connection. So that'll lead you to it. You can also get into it through the homepage.
What about if you recorded it on a local computer? How do you find that?
Usually anything that's saved from Zoom goes into My Documents/Zoom, unless you tell it to go somewhere else, but that's usually their default.
So here's one of my Zooms that this is one of the little girls that I work with. And so it saves it. She met my doggies. And it comes on, it's just in my Zoom folder, which I made. And it'll come in, and then you can edit it and whatnot.
Yeah, but your default will be in My Documents/Zoom, and it'll ask you, where do you want to save it to? So
okay, that's with a PC. It doesn't do that with it doesn't necessarily do that with a Mac. If you're a Mac user, it'll just ask you where you want to save it. Usually it'll go into downloads automatically unless you tell it to go somewhere else.
yeah. Okay. All right. So otherwise, you can record directly on your on the bottom toolbar.
Yeah. And this was the other thing that I also use as the alternative host. So if I want someone else to be able to host in the meeting, then you would put them in this place here, and then they're automatically able to host also. Like if you know you're going to have to leave partway through the meeting, or you're not sure you have a big event coming up, sometimes you want to have an alternative host just to make sure somebody can get on and run the meeting. Things happen. But that person needs to be a part of that group, is what I've found.
Mm-hmm. So, all right.
So, were there any more questions, or can I?
Yes, all right. Getting back to what you just mentioned with alternative hosts. I've noticed that, with larger meetings, there's always a host and like two co-hosts, for example.
Right.
So the two others should be here where it says alternate hosts. So because they have the same capability as you do, they can admit people, they can take over the screen, right?
Right. You can do it there. The other option is to do it when you're in your video, in your meeting, in the participants view. Yeah,
that's an easier way to do it. This is more if you're setting up a very big meeting and you want to make sure just to start the meeting even.
Okay,
so put it in here.
I'm sorry. So this is basically not necessary.
Not necessary.
Once your meeting starts, because I've seen the participants and who's the co-host and all that. So that can just be designated once you've begun the meeting.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. I've used this in one meeting where sometimes I'm the one that starts it, and sometimes I have to work late that night. And so somebody else starts it. So there's two of us on that meeting. Mm-hmm. So either of us can go in and start it.
I believe that Beth sent the video of the first training, and some of the questions were answering, not that we shouldn't ask them tonight, but there are some of these things explained in there. And if you missed the first session, it would be a great idea to watch it just to reinforce some of the things we're talking about tonight. It's also on the Women's League website.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on.
Back to you.
All right. So if you look in if you open up the participants in the break on so that you see it, you can hit a person's name and you'll see mute or more. Actually, no, it won't be there. Bottom button down on the right-hand side. I'm not sure if you see if all of you see it, but there's a way to say add host or co-host. Actually, all right. So it's on Corinne's name, for instance. I go into more. I have two blue buttons that says mute and more. in more, I can tell her, I can select her to be a co-host, and I'll say, okay, there you go, co-host. So now I have 2 co-hosts.
But we're not hosts, so we can't do that.
Yeah,
No,
so
only
you won't be able to see
only
that.
the host can make you a co-host.
Okay, so we shouldn't even bother looking at our participants list because I think that's what you suggested.
Well, if you're a host, how many people are there? Who asked that question?
4, 8, 12, Mimi,
Mimi?
23.
Wait a minute. Let me get down to you. Okay, I'm going to make you a co-host.
Ooh.
So
You're the co-host.
you're a co-host. So now you can go down and you can
Now look at it and see if you can see it.
Oh, I see it says co-host, me. Yeah.
but hover over your name or hover over somebody else's name.
Okay, Eileen, I'll do hover over yours. You mean with my cursor?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see.
Oh, it says unmute or more.
Right, and if you hit more,
Yes.
What do you get?
Stop video, spotlight, allow to record, allow to multi-pin, rename, put in waiting room, remove.
Right. So you get a lot of options as far as being a co-host. So it always pays when you're doing a presentation or a meeting to have somebody else with you and giving them the co-host privileges so that, for instance, I was sharing my screen. I couldn't see anything, but Corinne was able to, or some other people were able to tell me what's going on.
And when I was just sharing, I couldn't see any of the chat come up. So, as I'm asking, is that everybody? And I see now that people have things in the chat. So somebody was letting me know if there was another question.
Yeah. There is another question in the chat. Margot and Beth say they can't see the shared screen. They can only see the people. They're not looking down to see where the participants are. My participants are down on my lower left-hand side, and I have 19.
Okay, so are you on an iPad?
Not me, I'm on a computer, but the other 2 women don't see what you're talking about because they haven't opened up participants.
Right, okay. So
tell them where it is again.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so on your bottom toolbar, you see you have a bunch of things. You have participants right in the middle. It tells you that there are 19 that get people. So you double click on that and that will open up your participants list on your right hand side. Most of the time it's on the right hand side.
Okay. It's on the left.
On your device.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then you can do the same thing with chat. You open it up and it'll show up right below the participants.
So we're not doing a shared screen right now, if that's what people are looking for. It's just you'll see a gallery view or you'll see the speaker view right now. And to the side, you'll see the chats. So people are saying they can't see the shared screen. There isn't a shared screen right now. So don't worry.
Yeah. Now the participant list, you might want to do, and if you need to mute somebody, right? It shows you real quick who's the person who's not muted.
Yes, that'll show who's muted, but also on your video, your name will be have a mute button on it. Okay, red mute button.
But the host can mute somebody, yes.
Yeah, right. So the other thing, so
a host can also remove somebody if they're being, there's a problem person there. One of the options you have is remove at the very bottom.
How do you mute everybody?
Where's remove?
Okay, well, as far as a co-host or a host, we have a button in the bottom of the participant list that says mute all. So if I say mute all, I get a question, a pop-up menu, that box that says mute all current and new participants. And I'll say yes. It's also checked off, allow participants to unmute themselves. If I don't check that, that means you can't unmute yourself. And I'm in control. So, but you want to have people able to unmute themselves.
So to drop a person off, you have to be the host of the meeting.
Or a co-host.
Or a co-host.
Okay, thank you.
Can you make all 19 of us co-hosts?
Probably.
Just so we see what you're talking about?
Yeah, Yes, absolutely.
You know, I just took a screenshot of what the drop down is, if that's easier. Oh, we could all.
Okay, it is, oh wait, okay, here we go. And it'll confirm, you know, when I say I want to make someone a co-host, it'll ask me, do you want to change the host to Cecilia Cable? I'm like, no. But I want to make her a co-host, and it'll ask me that question. So yes. So I'm going down. I'm making people co-hosts. All right. As I go down, why don't you try doing some of these things?
Yeah, so somebody sometimes wants to record something, and so you can allow them to record. If they ask, you'll get a message. You know, if you try to record right now, you won't be able to record. You have to ask permission. So if you click it, then the host will get a message that says, you know, do you want to allow this person to record or not? So you can hover over there in the more and say allow if you want to.
We have another question.
Yeah.
How do you make the photo of the person who is speaking larger?
Okay. All right. All right. Let's talk about the views, the gallery views, and the spotlights, and all that fun stuff. Okay?
Do you want to take us all off hosting before we start playing with it? You want to leave us?
No, because it was a pain in the neck. Just don't touch anything. Well, actually,
right.
You can see it as we talk, and that may be a good thing.
That sounds like a terrible question, but how do you kick a person off?
Well, once you're a co-host and you go into, if you hover over somebody, is everybody a co-host now, Sheila?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so hover over somebody, you hover over my name or over my picture and look at the little three dots. Okay, and then at the very bottom, you should have, you know, remove.
Yeah, it says withdraw.
Actually, if everybody's a co-host, you may not be able to do that.
No, you can't.
Once everybody's a co-host, you can't.
Okay, hold on.
Here, take me off of co-host and they can all see mine.
There you are. Withdraw co-host.
Remove.
Where do you see I don't see remove.
Click on it now.
So hover, it's over mine.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Go into security.
I see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully you like me enough that you won't.
Yeah, that more button is pretty powerful.
I don't have, the only thing I see is pin and chat.
Okay, no, go to in the participants. Wait a minute, where are you? Okay, on Corinne's video, you know, there's mute and there's the three dots. It's almost the same thing as what if you go into participants and hover over her name there. So if you're on the three dots on Corinne's picture,
yeah,
go second from the bottom. Well, the bottom says put in waiting room, and it says remove right above it. That's
am I a co-host, or I don't know. I don't understand because it's only coming up pin and chat on Corinne for me at the three dots.
Susie Markowitz, you're not. I missed you. Okay, now you are. Go ahead.
Let me try it again.
Go ahead.
Now I got it.
All right.
Okay.
Mark, I'm on the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay. So let's talk about spotlighting and pinning. Pin participant, PP, participant. That's your way of knowing that you want to have a person, a big person. So, okay, wait, let me rephrase that. You have speaker view and you have gallery view. So right now we're all on the gallery view. If you go to speaker view, you have one person who's speaking as on the as the big person. Right. Now, if someone else happens not to be muted and they sneeze, that sneezer will be the speaker, and you don't want that. Okay, so what you do, you go over those three dots and you hit pin. So I just pinned Marilyn Cohen. So she's big on my screen now. She's not talking. I'm doing all the talking. So, but you see her. Okay, but that's on your computer.
Okay, so I have Jody pinned on mine. Hi, Jody. And so she's big on mine, and everybody else is small, but the rest of you have whatever you want on your screen.
Right. So now I'm going to spotlight Corinne, and I get a dialog box. Remove all pinned videos. Okay, continue. All right. So I get a box and I'm saying Corinne is spotlighting. She is my speaker of the day. So I want her, I don't want anybody else interfering with her. So that's how I
You just interfered with me because you're big on my screen, Sheila.
Am I really? Huh. Maybe.
Do you still have speaker on there?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Why is that not working right?
Why am I getting recording and then
recording?
Stop?
It's just telling you that it's recording. That'll be on there.
It's on. No, but I'm getting stop recording and it's allowing me. Am I, because I'm a co-host?
Because
is that
you're
the reason?
co-host. That's
okay.
Right.
Right, because it came up when I did my little pin gig. Now let me ask you this, and then to remove the pin.
Wait. Let me.
Okay. Okay.
I need to get back to.
I'm just a participant now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I'm making you a spot. I'm hitting Corinne and spotlight for everybody. So do you see her now?
Yes.
Okay.
I see Marilyn Cohen.
Yeah, but who's the big person?
Marilyn Cohen right now.
Wow.
Oh, wait, never mind. Now I have Corinne. I had
Corinne.
practiced pinning
Yeah,
Marilyn.
and
Now
see,
I have
Corinne's not talking, so that's spotlighting for everybody. And
that's a rarity that I'm not talking, so you know.
So you can spotlight up to 9 people. So if you have you're doing a program and you're having a panel, 3 panelists and a moderator, you can have those 4 people spotlighted, and you'll have 4 windows instead of the 1.
It'll look like a webinar. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly.
And where did we get those pins from? Oh,
No.
from the 3 dots.
Pin is from participant. So if
or from the 3 dots by a person's name,
from the
right?
3 dots.
Okay.
So you can say pin, and it won't. It'll pin for you. Okay. Or you say spotlight for everyone.
So if you all went to the program over the summer at convention, you didn't see everybody else. You only saw the person or the people that were being spotlighted by the host.
Right.
So that's why you would use that. Because as much as I love you all, I would want to see who the speaker is or who is doing the presentation. Mimi, I love you dearly, but you know, I saw your name that you were involved, but that was it. So that's why that's there.
I have a question. If you're showing like a PowerPoint presentation and you're sharing the screen with it, can you be an equal size with the slide or that sort of thing? Or are you going to be tiny and the slide is going to take up the whole screen?
As a host?
Yes, as a host.
That's a good question.
You can. I think you have to set up some your windows for that. I know today it didn't work for me. I just saw the presentation.
Well, I don't think you can.
Other days I could do both.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see myself when I'm sharing my screen, but other people can set it up so that they see the presenter and the PowerPoint.
Yeah. Hi, this is Jody. I have done it a couple times. You actually have to do 2 different browsers. So your Zoom is on one browser and your PowerPoint's on another one. And that way you can actually kind of cut both into half. So you can kind of see people on half of your screen. And then the other browser is showing the presentation. And when you share, you just toggle to make sure you're sharing the correct browser tab.
Yeah, that's one way. But you can also have a split screen. So you can have 2 machines going. Like I have 2 machines, but I don't I can't be bothered because I want to look at the big screen and you'd be seeing my ear or hair actually. But
Jody has a good point. It's much easier sometimes to just, you have a dedicated area for each one. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you can pin from the little individual pictures. You can pin individually, or you said go down to participants.
Well, if you're in the participant view, if your participants are open, you can do it also. But mostly I would stick with the video because that's easier to work around.
Stick with the Brady Bunch. Is that what you're saying? And pin each person individually.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's a more visual way of doing it. It's quicker, I think.
Yeah, actually it's there.
Because I don't see how to do it through.
Yeah, no, because it's only in the video box, in the Brady Bunch box, as you call it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? And you can always go to undo clear everything is go to gallery view and then go back to speaker to see where you are. So right now Beth seems to still be spotlighted.
No.
But well, she was for me. She came up. So now you were there. Now
for me, you're spotlighted.
Yeah. So all right. So is there any other questions between pin and spotlight? And we kind of went through it kind of quick all over the place. So
Jody, did you have a question?
Yeah, under participants, there was the clear all button when I was a co-host, not now. What does that clear all button do?
Wait a minute, where is that?
When I was a co-host.
You're still a co-host.
Okay.
Clear all. I don't see that. Where are you seeing that?
It's right of the more button at the bottom of the participant list. It says yes, no, go slower, faster, more.
Oh, that's
does that wipe somebody out?
No, I think what that means is that it's all your notes, the yes, the no, the go slower, all that. So
Okay.
if everybody put in yes and no on your okay. All right. So Jody, go ahead and hit clear all. There you go.
Got it. Thank you. So it's like a polling situation. Okay.
Sheila, do me a favor and make me a co-host again. I'm not a co-host.
Absolutely.
And where did she see clear all? Where was that?
It's in the more under the participants.
Okay, thank you.
Mine is actually separate as a co-host. The funny thing is, I was afraid to wipe you all out, so I didn't press it.
Well, you all could have wiped me out because I wasn't a co-host, so you could have removed me. So I feel really privileged that you all left me here.
Yeah. No, it's on that same line as all those little
to
things.
The right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we hit that. All right, so I guess let's do share screen. All right, does everybody want to do the share screen?
Yeah.
We good with that? Okay. So with share screen, you press the button. Did we do this last time? I have a feeling we did this last time. All right. Well, first of all, before you share your screen, make sure you have all the files that you want to open or want to view open on your computer. So if you're running a meeting, you have an agenda, you have the meeting minutes, you have the flyers, have that all open. You're giving a presentation, you have the PowerPoint. It's not in the presentation mode yet, but it's in a PowerPoint or it's a PDF. Have it all open on your computer. Even if you have...
Yeah, by the same token, close anything you don't want anybody to see.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That's probably more important to me in some ways.
Yeah. And don't have more than you need to have open. because that could slow down your computer. Like I was getting a little hiccup earlier. So you want to have a clean desk, so to speak.
Sheila?
Yep.
I'm sorry. How do you even get all those items onto that list that you want to show?
You open the files.
You mean when I share a screen?
Yeah, let's say I wanted to share 4 documents.
Okay.
Those things on here.
Okay. Well, that before you even get onto Zoom, you want to have your documents open. Okay. And it'll just, and you'll have it in your bars down on the bottom.
Say that again. Have to what?
It'll be in your bar. You'll see that you have, like I have my computer open. I have a, I don't know why I have a Zoom training open. I have.
So maybe once you have, yeah, you'll open it at the beginning and it'll be, open, and then you'll go into Zoom. And then if you ask to share screen, then it will give you several choices. It will show you a little pictorial of if you want to share just that window, if you want to share your whole computer screen, and it gives you the options once you're sharing the screen. You won't see it until that happens.
All right, so let me show the PowerPoint, go down to it so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, share screen. Okay. All right, can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you have your files open. Doesn't matter, almost doesn't matter what you have. Sometimes videos don't work. Like for me, I had trouble and I had to do it through Google Docs, whatever works, but try them before you go onto your meeting. You also have the option for whiteboard. In whiteboard, you're able to annotate, which means draw text, do whatever. I don't know. I don't think you're going to use whiteboard that much. So, but anyway.
Yeah, Sheila and I were messing around with it last night, trying to figure out what in the world we would use it for, and we couldn't come up with anything. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and then hosts can allow participants to share, and that's the beauty of this sharing a screen. So you're going to have all the files open. You see, there's the green. For some reason, share screen is the only thing in green. I'm not sure why, but there it is. And then it has an up arrow. So, okay, sorry about that with the dog. So with the up arrow, you can have one participant share at a time. You can have multiple persons share at once. You can identify who can share, or only the host. So,
question?
Yeah.
On chat?
Someone has to tell me. I don't see the chat.
I have the chat. Pixie wants to know, where are your files originally?
Okay, they can be on your hard drive, an external drive, the Google Drive, probably wherever you're working. So here's the screen. When you open up the share screen, this is the box that you're going to get. So obviously you have your lovely self looking at taking a picture of the screen so that you can demonstrate it. You have the whiteboard option. So here are all the files that I have open. Here's my agenda, or actually the calendar of events. There are different things that I have open.
So Sheila opened these beforehand, and so now it's asking, which one do you want to share, and which view? So she can choose which one. So these are things, because somebody asked where the files are originally. So those are the files from your computer. She opened these up earlier.
Right, and I even this one, that's on Google Docs. So I'm working right off of Google to get my videos to run. So anyway, you either double click on the image that you're opening, or you click once and you go to the share button. All right, so then in the whiteboard, you have an annotate bar. And annotate means that it just tells you that you can draw. It gives you all the info, You can erase, you can type, you can select, and you give the remote control to somebody else, and then they can add to that document or to that drawing.
Okay, thank you. Because someone asked if the whiteboard was easy to use for purposes of virtual conference and sharing ideas. So
if you're typing, I don't recommend it. I would probably say just use a Word document, and it's a lot easier. And if you share the, it's like if someone's going up to the taking notes, you're doing a breakout room and you're taking notes on
a whiteboard.
On a whiteboard. It just may be easier to do it on a Word document, because I think the whiteboard is a little cumbersome. Do you agree, Corinne?
I totally agree. We were having trouble last night. We were really trying to figure out the best way to explain it to you all, and we figured out that it's just much easier with the cursor to select where you want to be, because otherwise you have all these other options with a pencil and an eraser, and it's just more intuitive, I think, to type whatever you're going to type. If you're drawing pictures, it's different, but I don't think most of us are drawing pictures in the meeting. Yeah. If you're doing a Venn diagram, I guess it might be easier, but we found it much easier to deal with. We had Microsoft Word open, I think, and we were sharing, taking turns putting different things in there.
Yeah. Oh, I know why this is up. Okay, so this is a PowerPoint. This is what you saw how I was doing it. And then, so that's the PowerPoint working document, and you put it into presentation mode, which the presentation mode is down on the bottom with this little screen type of thing, because you may not be able to get it up in the view. So those are the two places that you can go, either the view or down on the bottom. I'm a bottom gal person, because I use it all the time. And then it'll go into presentation mode, and that's what you want your audience to see. Okay, so if you want, why don't we stop the share, and someone else can take the reign. Does someone have a document open? They want to try it, give it a shot. Don't be shy, speak up.
No.
I mean, we're not going to be able to give everybody a shot, but
Lori's being brave.
That's my welcome. Okay, thank you. I'll get rid of it.
Okay, I just opened the document. There, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I use that because I do tech for Evening Minion services.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it on my computer, and I open it before the service so that when everybody gets on, I just share it.
That's perfect.
All right, good.
It's nice for if you're having a meeting and you have the different people presenting, you have the treasurer, you have whoever's doing the next program or whatever, you can have, give permission to different people to share, so that it's not one person has to collect everything and then put it up.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes in really useful, I think.
And what we suggest is have a backup, have someone else have the presentation that you're given. Unfortunately, I didn't give this to Corinne, so she's got to get it she has the other working model, and I had updated it last night. But always have somebody, because if you fail, your backup can continue on without losing a breath.
Okay, so I'm going to share something. This summer during convention, of all the groups that we had a technical problem, it was the communications presentation. I was the one that was supposed to be sharing the PowerPoint, and for whatever reason, they could not get me as a co-host. I could not share. I could not talk to anybody on it. It was created very frustrating on my end, but 3 other people had it, and they were able to pinch hit and get it in. Nobody else knew, except we were going, what the heck is going on? But that's one of the reasons, because you don't want something like that to just kind of go down the drain.
I just wanted to tell everyone, because if you're not looking at the chat, Many people had other meetings beginning, so they had to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Got that. So,
It-
so are there any questions about,
I want to try to screen share. How do I do it? I press the green button first.
Yes, hit screen share.
Okay.
Then you get a box that shows all your different files that you have open.
Okay. So,
You can choose whether to just open that file or the whole screen for us to see, whatever.
it's called certificate, and it's not in there.
You click on
Is it
certificate.
on there?
and
Is
click
it on?
share.
Did it come on?
No.
Okay, it came on.
Got to
mine.
double
Okay.
click or click on it and then hit share. One of those two.
But it's not on that.
No.
It's not one of the contenders there.
And you have it open?
I have it open on my end,
Hmm.
and I'm clicking green.
There.
There we go.
No, that's Pixie.
Okay.
That wasn't me. All right, I'll have to work on it.
If you forgot to open up something before you started your Zoom, can you do it in the middle or not?
Yes, that's what I did. Everybody was asking a question about something, so I just opened another window.
Can we get rid of that oops?
Okay. I just put in the chat box our email addresses, so feel free to reach out to us.
Can I try it? The share screen, I just put something up.
No.
I have to say, there's a lot of information. It's all available. We have, the information in the cloud. It's being recorded into the cloud now. If you want to come back and look at it, you can do that. Zoom.us also has all the information. You're welcome to contact us. If somebody needs to practice a little bit, I could try to set up a time to work with you on that,
Yeah.
individually.
Same here.
It's
and
totally.
also, if you go on to the Women's League and the members option, North by Northwest had the advanced training also. So you can swing by there, view their video. I think do we want to do breakout rooms real quick for like 5 or 10 minutes?
Did anything come up?
Yep.
Yeah, sideways.
Yep.
Share
It. Okay, it came up. All right, that's progress. Thank you.
Okay.
How do I get out of
You have a thing that says stop share up at the top.
Oh, stop share. Oh. Stop share.
Okay.
And that's good to know how to stop things too. Like how to leave a meeting, how to stop share. That is important. People forget that. It's like, you don't want to have that.
So, all right. So breakout rooms. I did not have a chance to go into it. But do you see the breakout? Everyone is a co-host, right? So if you go down onto the bottom, it'll either say breakout rooms or you have more, 3 dots and more. Okay. So you can go into breakout rooms down on the bottom.
Where is the more? I don't even see it.
There's not a more.
It all depends. I have more because I have my participant and chat list open. If I were closed, it would be next to the reactions.
Yeah, the 3 dots.
That means more. So click on that.
I have breakout rooms. It's right there.
And then you go down on the bottom and say breakout rooms. Okay. So you can either assign people breakout rooms into a room, or you can let them choose for themselves, or it can go automatically and into whatever room they want to go into. So let's see. Oh gosh, breakout rooms. I want to have, how come it is not allowing me to add? rooms.
It's saying on the top, which I haven't had that happen before, that the host has opened breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
Okay.
So when I was showing you when I was setting up the meeting at the beginning,
okay, here we go. I got it. So if you close all rooms, you go to the bottom. There is on the bottom it says open all rooms or create. So I actually created room 1 and room 2. I added another room, so I have 3 rooms. I can say open all rooms. And then let's see. I can start moving people down into different rooms. I click on a person and it'll say assign to, and I'll start assigning people. And you're gonna go. And that's kind of like the easy way, I guess, quick way. So everybody's going.
Only the host can do the breakout rooms, not a co-host. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. I'm glad you said
so
that.
We are watching you, but we cannot do it ourselves.
Okay. So everybody should be in a room now, right? Right. Okay. So that you can be in the rooms for a certain amount of time, or I can say come back. Actually, I probably should have everybody back. It'll close in 58 seconds once I say close the breakout rooms. I shouldn't. All right.
I was there all by myself.
Were you?
Yeah. I couldn't figure that one out. I saw I was a part of a list, but then I only saw myself.
Okay. I don't know why I can't get you back automatically.
Yeah, that 58 seconds tripped me up to the, remember that, Lori? And knowing that, if you know you want to bring people back in 5 minutes, click it at 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's coming back in 14, 13, 12 seconds. Everybody will be back soon. But I'm not crazy about how, I'd rather talk to you first and then break you all out.
Tell me again where you found the breakout as a host. Obviously, I can't find it myself, but where do you find it? Under participants?
No. You have your bottom menu bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's, starts with mute and on the left and goes all the way to end on the right. It should be near end in more if it's, or it says breakout rooms next to reactions.
Does a co-host have that ability? Because I don't see it on mine either.
I don't have it either.
No, it's, so none of you see it? Okay, it's strictly a host option.
Okay.
You were in control of us all.
Yeah, wow.
So
yes, a host only can move people around. A host can jump from room to room. Participants can ask to move to another room, and you can. The host will say yes. But before you even start all this, make sure in the settings before you start a Zoom meeting that it is enabled. Breakout rooms are enabled. If they're not, you can't do it.
And that was what was at the very bottom when I was showing you how to set up a repeating session. So at the very bottom, just click where it says breakout rooms.
Yeah.
You don't have to use them, but that way you can.
I would say let people go automatically to each room, unless there's something specific that if you're doing a conference, say, and you have different activities or different things going on in each room, identify that room, what's going on. Don't just call it.
Like you might have the president's meeting in one and you want to assign 2 people to that room to lead that. You may also want to have Judaica shop. Well, you have somebody who's a president and the Judaica chair that's coming. So you want them to be able to choose where to go with the meeting. So you may want to do that, but assign certain people to be leaders in those places.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was pretty crazy. I think if you need to do breakout rooms, we're definitely here to give you a little bit more assistance.
I was gonna say that's a little more confusing sometimes, and there's a lot more involved. So we
Yeah.
can certainly set something up to do that if you need to.
Right. What I suggest and Corinne suggests, practice on your own. Open up a Zoom meeting and try all the the icons and up arrows, down arrows, and just play around or go on with somebody else and see what everything is.
That's what we've been doing, just to make sure we know what's going on with it. So choose one person, buddy up, and play with it. It's very funny, actually. Some of the things, is like, whoa, it did what? So
yeah. So
you have your martini with you at the same time, and
yeah.
This
still
was
would
new
like
for
to find out
everybody
breakout
at
rooms.
some point, right? The
What's that?
people who learned it this year. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can do it.
Yeah. It's really it's pretty it's simple. You can do it. You can definitely do it. I mean, my mom says, no, I can't do this. I mean, you're putting up a block, but you let your guard down, you play around. It's all a matter of comfort level, and the more comfortable you get, it's because you've had a lot of practice.
So I just wanted to respond to something. Jody had asked me about additional training if you need it to set up a virtual conference, and I want to respond to everybody with this. It's a very good question. Sheila and I are putting that together. We're really starting the main part of it right after Thanksgiving. We decided we'd give thanks first, and then we'll do that. So we will have training available that we're put together and try to be as clear as possible. And if you have any questions, you'll be able to contact us, look at that, anything you need. That's a big thing that we need to work on and get that together.
Lori, when is your conference, the spring conference? You're muted. Do you have a spring conference date set up?
It's May 2nd.
Yes, May 2nd.
Oh, same as ours. Okay. Garden State Region's also May 2nd.
And ours is April 24th or so. I'd have to look it up.
25th.
What region are you?
Intercontinental.
Okay.
And INR International Northeast is also 25th. It's a Sunday.
Okay, the 25th. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything before April? Good. Keep it that way. we don't want it either.
Usually April and May.
Trust me, we don't want it earlier either.
Well, it's done. It's done then because installation is done if it's an installation year. So it's towards the end of the Women's League year.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that we touched on things. We would have done polling, but I don't we have time for that. Women's League doesn't support the polling right now because it's not in the bylaws, which is virtual stuff. So what I suggest, what we suggest is when you're voting on something, use the yes and the no in the participant list. Use the good old raise your hand thing. And then I believe your sisterhoods have to, and your regions have to put in their bylaws that you can vote by polling. So, but you can do polling and just have a fun thing, how many people were having turkey for Thanksgiving, whatever. You make a game out of it. So that would be the extent for the polling part. And as polling is the same way, you set it up, the host can do it only. And you set up the poll questions prior to your meeting, and then you can launch it. And what's fun about the polling is you get to see the responses, the statistics. So,
yeah, but it is important to know a co-host cannot set one up. If like the host needs to leave the meeting and leave the co-host, make somebody else into the host, that person can still do the poll that's been already set up. You can't set up any new polls. So if it's a meeting that you want to do a lot of polls, make sure it's set up before the host leaves.
Yeah. So, okay, Beth. All right.
Oh,
So,
straight up and down, I could see it this way.
yeah. All right. So,
Great.
any other questions before we head out? We actually, Corinne and I and Beth have a communications meeting in 20 minutes. But you know, we're here if you need us. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank
Well,
everybody for joining us tonight. And I would like to thank Sheila and Corinne for all the work they did to make these presentations and do the PowerPoints and all that, and your support. It's very much appreciated. So remember, once this session is recorded, well, it is recorded, but once it's edited, it will be on the Women's League site under Zoom training in the members only section. Thank you again to everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right.
Yeah. It's
Good
nice
night,
to meet you all,
everyone.
see you all again.
Thanks again.